Right now, as you read these words, the universe is whispering secrets directly into your consciousness. It's been speaking to you since the moment you were born, since before you existed, since the first atoms that would eventually become your thoughts began their journey through space and time. But here's the extraordinary thing. Most of us spend our entire lives never learning how to listen. We walk through our days surrounded by the most profound conversation in existence, and we mistake it for silence. What if I told you that every ray of sunlight carries encoded messages about nuclear fusion processes that have been running for 4.5 billion years? What if you discovered that every breath you take contains information about the atmospheric evolution of our planet, the photosynthetic innovations of ancient bacteria, the delicate chemical balance that makes consciousness possible? What if you realized that the very act of seeing, photons striking your retina, electrical impulses racing through your neural networks, your brain constructing reality from electromagnetic radiation, is actually a dialogue between your consciousness and the fundamental forces that govern everything from quantum mechanics to galactic rotation? Carl Sagan understood something that revolutionizes how we experience existence. The universe is not silent. It's the most eloquent speaker we've ever encountered. Every natural phenomenon, from the spiral patterns of nautilus shells to the orbital mechanics of distant planets, carries information. Every biological process, from the beating of your heart to the migration patterns of butterflies, contains messages about the deep principles that organize reality itself. The universe has been trying to tell us who we are, where we came from, and how we fit into the vast story of cosmic evolution, but we've been too busy talking to ourselves to hear what it's saying. Consider this moment. The calcium atoms strengthening your bones right now are carrying a message from stellar explosions that occurred before Earth existed. They're telling you about temperatures of billions of degrees, about pressure so intense it fuses atomic nuclei, about the death throes of massive stars that scattered the elements of life across interstellar space. The iron in your blood is whispering about supernovas, about the violent beauty of stellar collapse, about how destruction and creation are the same cosmic process viewed from different perspectives. You are not just made of star stuff. You are walking, breathing, thinking cosmic literature, encoded with the entire history of the universe. But perhaps the most profound message the universe has been sending us is this: matter can become aware of itself. After 13.8 billion years of cosmic evolution, hydrogen atoms have learned to contemplate hydrogen atoms. The same forces that birth galaxies have given rise to minds capable of understanding galaxy formation. The same quantum mechanical processes that govern atomic interactions have organized themselves into patterns complex enough to study quantum mechanics. You are not an accident in an indifferent cosmos. You are the cosmos developing the capacity for self-reflection, self-awareness, self-love. This realization transforms everything. When you look up at the night sky, you're not observing something external and foreign. You're participating in a cosmic reunion. Those distant stars are not alien objects. They're your ancestors, the nuclear furnaces where every element in your body was forged. The darkness between them is not empty void. It's the creative space from which structure emerges, the fertile nothingness pregnant with infinite possibilities. The light that travels millions of years to reach your eyes is carrying messages about cosmic history, stellar evolution, the expansion of space-time itself. And your consciousness is the universe's way of receiving and decoding these messages. Sagan saw that we live in an age of unprecedented cosmic literacy. For the first time in human history, we have developed tools sensitive enough to detect the universe's subtlest communications. Radio telescopes allow us to eavesdrop on conversations between pulsars and black holes. Particle accelerators let us witness discussions between quarks and bosons. DNA sequencing reveals the 4 billion-year-long story that life has been writing in the alphabet of genetics. Mathematical equations become translation devices, converting the universe's native language, the behavior of matter and energy, into concepts human minds can grasp and appreciate. But here's what makes this moment in cosmic history so extraordinary. We're not just passive receivers of the universe's messages. We've become active participants in the conversation. Every scientific experiment is a question posed to reality. Every hypothesis is our attempt to predict what the universe might say next. Every discovery is the universe's response to our curiosity. We're engaged in the most sophisticated dialogue ever achieved, a conversation between consciousness and cosmos, between mind and matter, between the universe as questioner and the universe as answerer. The tragedy is not that the universe is silent, it's that we've forgotten how to listen. We've surrounded ourselves with so much human-generated noise that we can barely hear the cosmic signal beneath the static. We've become so focused on the conversations we're having with each other that we've lost touch with the far more fundamental conversation we're having with reality itself. We've developed technologies that can detect gravitational waves from colliding black holes billions of light years away, yet we struggle to hear the messages our own planet is sending us about climate change, biodiversity loss, the consequences of treating Earth as if it were separate from ourselves rather than the living system that created us. Tonight, when darkness falls, step outside and remember that you are not observing the universe, you are the universe observing itself. The photons entering your eyes have traveled vast distances to deliver their messages directly to your consciousness. The atoms in your body are singing the songs they learned in stellar cores. The DNA in your cells is reciting poetry, written over billions of years of evolutionary experimentation. You are not separate from this cosmic conversation. You are one of its most eloquent expressions, matter organized in such a way that it can listen to its own story and wonder at its own beauty. How do you learn to speak with the infinite? How do you develop fluency in the language that stars use to communicate their life stories, that planets employ to describe their geological histories, that atoms utilize to explain the fundamental architecture of reality itself? Carl Sagan revealed to us that this language already exists. It's called science, and it's the most successful translation system ever developed for converting the universe's native communications into human understanding. But science is not just a collection of facts or a set of abstract theories. Science is a way of listening. It's a discipline that teaches us to distinguish between what we want the universe to be saying and what it's actually communicating. It's a practice that requires us to quiet our internal chatter, our preconceptions, our wishful thinking, our comfortable assumptions, long enough to hear what reality is trying to tell us. When we approach the world with genuine scientific curiosity, we're not imposing human meaning onto natural phenomena. We're discovering the meaning that was already there, encoded in the behavior of matter and energy since the beginning of time. Consider how this listening process actually works. When you point a telescope at a distant galaxy, you're not just collecting light, you're receiving a message that began its journey millions or billions of years ago. The spectrum of that light carries information about the chemical composition of stars, the rate of cosmic expansion, the presence of planets orbiting distant suns. The redshift in the wavelength tells you about the galaxy's motion through space and time. The intensity variations reveal details about stellar birth and death, about black holes consuming matter, about the large-scale structure of the cosmos itself. A single photograph from the Hubble Space Telescope contains more information about the universe than all of human literature combined. But here's what makes this communication truly extraordinary. The universe is not just sending us random data. It's sharing the deepest secrets of existence with any intelligence sophisticated enough to decode the messages. The cosmic microwave background radiation is telling us about the first moments after the Big Bang, when the universe became transparent to light for the first time. The orbital mechanics of planets are explaining the gravitational principles that govern everything from apple falls to galaxy formation. The quantum behavior of electrons is revealing the fundamental probabilistic nature of reality at its smallest scales. When Sagan studied the atmosphere of Venus and discovered that its extreme temperatures result from a runaway greenhouse effect, he wasn't just solving an astronomical puzzle, he was learning to understand planetary conversations. Venus was explaining how atmospheric chemistry can transform a world, how small changes in greenhouse gas concentrations can trigger irreversible climate shifts. That same listening skill allowed him to recognize that Earth's atmosphere was sending similar messages about our own planet's future. Warnings encoded in ice core data, ocean temperature measurements, atmospheric carbon dioxide levels. The universe communicates through patterns, and learning to recognize these patterns is perhaps the most profound skill our species has ever developed. The spiral structure of hurricanes reflects the same mathematical principles that govern galaxy formation and nautilus shells. The branching patterns of rivers mirror the architecture of blood vessels, lightning bolts, and the neural networks in your brain. The oscillations of pendulums follow the same harmonic principles that describe atomic vibrations, planetary orbits, and the pulsations of variable stars. Once you learn to see these patterns, you begin to understand that the universe is not composed of separate, unrelated phenomena. It's a single, integrated system speaking to itself in countless dialects of the same fundamental language. But perhaps the most profound message the universe has been communicating is about the nature of consciousness itself. Through 4 billion years of evolutionary experimentation, life on Earth has been developing increasingly sophisticated methods for receiving and processing cosmic information. From the first bacteria that learn to respond to light, to plants that track the sun's motion across the sky, to animals that navigate by star patterns, to humans who can decode the chemical composition of distant stars, consciousness represents the universe's most successful attempt to understand itself. This means that when you engage in scientific thinking, when you observe natural phenomena with curiosity and wonder, when you allow evidence to change your mind about how reality works, you're not just learning about the universe, you're participating in the universe's ongoing project of self-discovery. Every question you ask is the cosmos inquiring about itself. Every answer you discover is the universe sharing its secrets with itself through you. The revolutionary insight that Sagan offered is that this conversation is not one way. We're not just passive recipients of cosmic information, we're active participants in an ongoing dialogue. Every experiment we design is a question posed to reality. Every measurement we make is our attempt to hear the universe's response more clearly. Every theory we develop is our effort to understand the grammar of natural law, to become more fluent in the language that matter and energy have been speaking since time began. This is why attacks on scientific thinking are not just attacks on human knowledge. They're attempts to interrupt the most important conversation in cosmic history. When we reject evidence-based reasoning, when we substitute wishful thinking for careful observation, when we choose comfortable beliefs over inconvenient truths, we're essentially putting our fingers in our ears and refusing to listen to what the universe is trying to tell us. We're walking away from the cosmic conversation just when it's becoming most crucial for our survival and flourishing as a conscious species. If you're beginning to hear this cosmic conversation, if you're starting to understand that every natural phenomenon carries information about the deepest principles of reality, then you're joining a growing community of cosmic listeners. Subscribe to this channel not just to learn more about science, but as a commitment to developing your fluency in the universe's native language. Share with us in the comments. What's one natural phenomenon that you'd like to understand better? What question would you ask the universe if you could be sure it would answer? Your curiosity matters because you matter. You are the universe becoming curious about itself, and your questions help drive the cosmic conversation toward ever deeper understanding and appreciation of the magnificent reality we all share. The universe has already told us extraordinary things about ourselves, about our origins, about our place in the vast cosmic story, but these messages are so profound, so paradigm-shifting, that we're still processing what they mean for how we understand existence itself. Carl Sagan spent his life helping humanity decode these cosmic communications, translating the universe's revelations into language that could transform how we see ourselves and our responsibilities to each other, and to the living world that created us. The first great message arrived when we learned to read the story written in starlight. For millennia, humans looked up at the night sky and saw lights moving across a celestial dome. But when we developed spectroscopy, the ability to analyze the component wavelengths of light, the universe began telling us something extraordinary. Those distant points of light are suns like our own, nuclear furnaces converting hydrogen into helium and releasing energy that travels across vast distances to reach us. More profound still, the universe revealed that these stellar furnaces are cosmic factories, manufacturing the heavy elements that make planets possible, that make chemistry complex enough for life, that make consciousness achievable through biological evolution. This message fundamentally changed our understanding of our relationship with the cosmos. We learned that we are not separate from the stars. We are star children, literally constructed from stellar ashes. The calcium in our bones, the iron in our blood, the carbon in our DNA, all of it was forged in nuclear furnaces that burned billions of years before Earth existed. The universe was telling us that matter and consciousness are not opposites. Consciousness is matter's most sophisticated achievement, the cosmos developing the ability to contemplate its own beauty and meaning. The second transformative message emerged from our exploration of deep time. Through geology, paleontology, and evolutionary biology, the universe revealed that Earth's history spans billions of years, that life has been experimenting with countless forms of organization and complexity, that consciousness did not appear suddenly, but emerged gradually through natural processes operating over vast timescales. The fossil record became a library of cosmic communications, each species that ever lived contributing a chapter to the ongoing story of life's creative exploration of possibility. This message revolutionized how we understand our place in the web of life. We learned that humans are not separate from nature. We are nature's most recent experiment in self-awareness. Every other species on Earth is our evolutionary cousin, sharing common ancestry traced back to the first self-replicating molecules that emerged from Earth's ancient chemistry. The universe was teaching us that consciousness is not a human monopoly. It's an evolutionary phenomenon that appears in countless forms, from the problem-solving intelligence of octopi to the social awareness of dolphins to the collective behavior of ant colonies. The third great revelation came through our understanding of cosmic history itself. Through astronomy, cosmology, and particle physics, the universe told us its origin story. 13.8 billion years ago, everything that exists emerged from an initial state of unimaginable density and temperature. Space and time themselves began expanding, cooling, allowing the formation of atomic nuclei, neutral atoms, the first stars, the chemical elements that make complexity possible, the galaxies that serve as stellar nurseries, the planetary systems where life can emerge and flourish. This cosmic narrative revealed something unprecedented. We are not accidental byproducts of meaningless physical processes. We are the universe's most sophisticated known experiment in self-organization. Through us, the cosmos has developed the ability to understand its own history, to appreciate its own beauty, to contemplate its own future possibilities. We represent matter achieving self-awareness, energy becoming conscious of energy, the universe opening its eyes and seeing itself clearly for the first time. But perhaps the most important message the universe has been sending us concerns our current moment in cosmic history. Through climate science, we're learning that our planet's atmospheric and oceanic systems are far more delicate and interconnected than we previously understood. Earth is communicating the consequences of human activity through rising temperatures, changing precipitation patterns, ocean acidification, species extinctions. The planet that created us is telling us that our technological power has reached levels where we can inadvertently destabilize the very systems that sustain the biosphere that gave birth to consciousness. This is not a message of doom, it's a message of responsibility and opportunity. The universe is telling us that we've reached a threshold in cosmic evolution where consciousness must learn to take responsibility for its own future development. We've become capable of either destroying the conditions that make consciousness possible or of becoming conscious participants in the ongoing cosmic experiment. The choice between these futures depends on our willingness to listen to what reality is actually telling us rather than what we wish it were saying. Through the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, we're also receiving profound messages about the rarity and preciousness of consciousness in the cosmos. The apparent silence from other civilizations, despite our increasing ability to detect artificial signals from across interstellar distances, suggests that technological intelligence may be far rarer than we once hoped. This silence carries its own communication. It tells us that consciousness capable of understanding cosmic history may be one of the universe's most precious achievements, that we may be among the cosmos's first successful experiments in self-aware matter. Every scientific discovery adds new chapters to this ongoing cosmic conversation. When we detect gravitational waves from colliding black holes, we're listening to space-time itself vibrating with information about the most extreme conditions in the universe. When we sequence genomes, we're reading the 4-billion-year-old story that life has been writing in the language of DNA. When we study quantum mechanics, we're learning about the fundamental probabilistic nature of reality at its deepest levels. But here's what makes our current era so extraordinary. We're not just receiving these cosmic messages, we're beginning to send conscious responses. Every spacecraft we launch carries human consciousness into the cosmos. Every radio signal we broadcast announces our presence to any listening civilizations. Every act of environmental stewardship demonstrates that consciousness can learn to care for the conditions that make consciousness possible. We've become active participants in the universe's conversation with itself, conscious contributors to the cosmic story that has been unfolding for nearly 14 billion years. The question is not whether the universe is speaking to us, it's whether we're mature enough as a species to listen carefully and respond wisely to what it's telling us. We stand at an unprecedented moment in the universe's 13.8 billion year history. For the first time that we know of, matter has organized itself into patterns sophisticated enough not only to receive and decode cosmic messages, but to consciously participate in shaping the universe's future communications. Carl Sagan understood that this transition, from unconscious cosmic processes to conscious cosmic participation, represents the most significant threshold in the story of matter and energy we call existence. Think about what this means. For billions of years, the universe communicated with itself through purely physical processes: gravitational attraction between masses, electromagnetic interactions between charged particles, nuclear forces binding atomic nuclei, chemical bonds organizing molecules into increasingly complex structures. These were unconscious conversations, matter and energy following natural laws without awareness, without choice, without the capacity to contemplate their own behavior or consider alternative possibilities. But now, through biological evolution on Earth, and possibly on countless other worlds throughout the cosmos, the universe has developed something unprecedented: the capacity for self-reflection, for conscious choice, for deliberate participation in its own future evolution. We are not observers of cosmic processes. We are cosmic processes that have become aware of themselves. We are the universe's experiment in consciousness, matter learning to think about matter, energy becoming capable of directing energy toward chosen goals. This realization comes with profound responsibilities. When we make choices about technology, about how we treat our planet's climate and ecosystems, about how we relate to other forms of life, about whether we invest in education and scientific research or in tribal conflicts and resource competition, we are literally deciding what kind of universe we want to help create. Our choices ripple outward through space and time, influencing the cosmic conversation for generations to come. Sagan saw that our species has reached what he called technological adolescence. We've developed powers that were once attributed to gods, but we haven't yet developed the wisdom to use these powers responsibly. Nuclear weapons give us the ability to end human civilization in an afternoon. Genetic engineering allows us to direct the future course of evolution itself. Artificial intelligence may soon create minds that surpass our own cognitive abilities. Climate modification technologies could transform Earth's atmospheric chemistry in ways that determine the future habitability of our planet. The universe is asking us a question through these capabilities. Are we mature enough to handle cosmic-level responsibilities? Can we learn to think beyond tribal loyalties, beyond quarterly profit reports, beyond the immediate gratification of our inherited psychological patterns? Can we develop the kind of long-term thinking that cosmic timescales require, the kind of systems thinking that planetary stewardship demands, the kind of species-wide cooperation that survival in a vast and potentially hostile cosmos necessitates? The answer depends on our willingness to keep listening to what reality is telling us, even when those messages challenge our preferences, our ideologies, our comfortable assumptions about how things should work. Climate science is sending us increasingly urgent communications about the consequences of treating Earth's atmosphere as a waste dump for industrial byproducts. Ecology is explaining how the destruction of biodiversity undermines the stability of the living systems that sustain all terrestrial life, including human consciousness. Neuroscience is revealing how our brains evolved for survival in small groups on ancient savannas, not for making rational decisions about global technologies in an interconnected world. But the universe is also sending us hopeful messages about our potential for conscious evolution. Every time humans choose cooperation over conflict, evidence over ideology, long-term thinking over short-term advantage, We demonstrate that consciousness can indeed learn to transcend its evolutionary limitations. Every scientific breakthrough expands our ability to understand and work with natural systems rather than against them. Every act of genuine compassion shows that matter organized as human consciousness can choose love over fear, connection over separation, wisdom over ignorance. Perhaps most importantly, the universe is teaching us that consciousness is not a purely individual phenomenon. Your thoughts emerge from neural networks that required billions of years of cosmic evolution to develop. Your capacity for language depends on social learning, accumulated across countless generations of human culture. Your ability to understand scientific concepts builds on millennia of human intellectual development. You are not a separate mind observing the cosmos. You are an expression of cosmic mind, matter, and energy, temporarily organized in patterns capable of awareness, curiosity, love, and conscious choice. This means that every time you choose to think scientifically, to question assumptions, to follow evidence wherever it leads, you are participating in the universe's ongoing experiment in conscious self-improvement. Every time you choose compassion over cruelty, cooperation over competition, truth over comfortable illusion, you are helping the cosmos develop greater wisdom, greater kindness, greater capacity for conscious evolution. The conversation between consciousness and cosmos is not abstract philosophy. It's the most practical necessity for our survival and flourishing as a technological species. The challenges we face in the coming decades, from climate disruption to artificial intelligence to potential contact with extraterrestrial civilizations, require us to think and act as citizens of the universe, not just members of competing tribes sharing a small planet. This is why developing cosmic perspective is not optional luxury for scientifically minded individuals. It's essential preparation for participation in humanity's transition from cosmic unconsciousness to cosmic citizenship. When you truly understand that you are made of star stuff, that your thoughts are the universe thinking, that your choices influence the future development of consciousness in the cosmos, you begin to make different decisions about how to spend your brief time as a conscious arrangement of matter and energy. The universe has been preparing for this conversation for nearly 14 billion years. Stars lived and died to create the elements that make your thoughts possible. Billions of years of evolution experimented with countless forms of life to develop the neural complexity that enables human consciousness. Millennia of human cultural development created the languages, the mathematical tools, the scientific methods that allow you to participate in cosmic-scale understanding. Now it's your turn to contribute to this conversation. Subscribe to this channel and to the larger project of conscious cosmic participation. Share with us in the comments. How will you use your brief time as conscious stardust? What questions will you ask the universe? What messages will you send into the cosmic conversation through your choices, your curiosity, your commitment to truth and kindness? The universe has been speaking to you your entire life. What will you say back? Your response matters because you matter. You are the cosmos becoming conscious of itself, and through your participation in this ancient conversation, the universe continues its magnificent experiment in awareness, understanding, and love.